is in healthcare, and we're making it better and better every day. So what I want to do now is transition. I want to do a quick little recap of FutureFlow Rx, the digital twin concept in the tool, and then again, I'll jump into a quick demonstration of how we actually place patients. So let me jump into, so again, FutureFlow Rx is a web-based platform. What you're looking at is something that in our customers that we have now, typically each of them have their environment stood up behind their firewalls for privacy reasons. We stand up these different environments and we can access a whole wealth of data. Part of Gene's conversation, and I switched up my flow a little bit here, but part of what Gene mentioned is, the historical flow and patterns and how that's relevant, and that's really one of the core things that we do when we talk about future flow and we go through an implementation, is we take a significant amount of years, 2 to 3 years or more of data, and we configure all the different flows of, your different admit sources and the patterns that patients come in. Or maybe it's the way that they transfer discharge orders by day of week, hour of day. And then we also configure the hospital. So setting up this digital twin or the virtual hospital, we can go through and we understand all the different units that are tied to maybe all the hospitals individually, how many different beds, all the different bed staffing that you can have. We can consider that as well, and even talk about PPE usage as well. We do things in our discrete event modeling software here that, it allows us to model each and every patient. And because we know what bed the patient's going to and what bed that unit is tied to, we can then roll that up to different levels. The one that we're going to focus on a little bit today is a concept we call care levels. And Dan will talk more about this in his portion of the demonstration. But the one that we'll focus on is one of these med-surg floors. It's a really interesting concept and something we recently did in an implementation where we were testing a scenario around moving or reconstruction of an area that required beds or units to be opened in different areas. So you can imagine how extremely difficult that is in a hospital environment, but in a virtual system like this, you can quickly configure how patients might flow alternatively. Maybe it's an isolation unit that you're trying to spin up, and you want to have a certain segment of patients going into that isolation unit. You can quickly configure that and test out what kind of impact and effects that's going to have. So just a reminder, FutureFlow, the way that our dashboard is set up here, it's more than just a dashboard, and we're actually we're looking to rename this. I think it gives the impression that it's just a dashboard, but what makes us different is, we not only surface historical data, but a lot of what we do on the right side of these cards is the predictive portion of it. So being able to have a few different views for hospitals to focus on not just the ADT decision making, maybe the next 4, 8, 12, 24 hours, but we have the ability to look at more of the strategic use through the what if scenario analysis portion as well. So, we can get to all levels. I showed before in our last demonstration how you could filter down, all the way from the system view down to an individual hospital, or maybe you want to look at specific units and understand what the predictions are going to be to that level. So there's capabilities to drive all the way down to what your expected or what your anticipated areas are that you're looking at, and then even do that for a longer period of time, which in the example we talked about last time, Gene mentioned flu season as well. And if there are questions around, what's flu season going to look like, we do have the ability, and when we go through an implementation, we can slice and dice the data in many ways to identify what flu season was from 2016, 17, 18, maybe run all those different examples against the future to get an idea of, maybe where your nurse staffing is going to be and how it's going to, what you can anticipate. And again, maybe you're looking at different staffing options going 6 months from now, if you're looking at overtime or travelers or what other policy decisions you might need to make. And the last thing I'll say in the tool here is just, we are fully transparent. The one thing we do is with our predictions and with our known actuals that come in the +4, +8, +12, we have an efficacy report built in. This allows us to be able to quickly see either at a hospital level or again down to the units, And it's an exercise we're going through with a customer right now to, better refine the data and our predictions. History gets us so far, and I think what Gene said around intuition, it allows you to create some good predictions based off your historical information. But when we start to engage and work together and you understand how FutureFlow works, what it allows you to do is go a little bit deeper. And the more information we could read in, maybe it's scheduled arrivals. If you know who's actually coming in, we can provide that information in FutureFlow and give even more accurate predictions. So that's a quick review of the digital twin.